Hi, and welcome back to another Rosebud tutorial. So if you remember the 2010s very well, you'll probably remember that a lot of the people were obsessed with these kinds of cooking games like Papa's Pizzeria, Papa's Taqueria, Papa's Sushiria, and everything else where basically the main gameplay was just completing orders from customers and then afterwards serving them, getting money for it, and continuing to upgrade your game. If you needed a quick refresher, this is what it used to look like, and we are going to attempt to make it today with AI. We are going to be making a pizza making game, so Papa's Pizzeria clone, if you will. It turned out pretty well for the couple of prompts that I used, and I will walk you through the steps and what was able to be completed with AI and what needs some more development. What turned out well with AI was actually the whole core gameplay of putting together the pizza. After a few attempts, I managed to get the coordinates right and actually put the ingredients on the pizza, as well as the increasing difficulty. So the more money you got from customers, the more ingredients you were able to buy, and then the more wider range of orders were you able to fulfill. What I wasn't able to implement yet was the full-on trailer that you see when you start playing a Papa's Pizzeria game, as well as the actual complex ovens with different pizzas baking at the same time or being able to serve multiple customers at the same time. However, that is not far off from where the game is at right now, so let me know in the comments if you want to see a more complicated game version next. Without further ado, let's get started on how I built this game, what prompts I used, and what the process was. So first things first, when I previously made tutorials, I usually just wrote the simplest one-shot prompt that I could think of. So if we were making a GTA-like game, I just wrote make GTA to kind of test where the model could expand my prompt. However, today I didn't want that to happen because usually you enter a very chaotic iteration loop where you have to keep adding in prompts or re-explaining the game before you're actually able to play test what you really wanted. So I went straight onto ChatGPT and I explained that I wanted to make a Papa's Pizzeria like game and asked it to help me write a short prompt in order to really convey my ask and be able to get this core game loop straight out of the way. So, this is what it came back to me with. Mind you, the passive aggressive answer. And then I immediately went onto Rosebud and pasted in the prompt to see what it could come up with. For this test run, I used Gemini 3 Agent, which is basically a supercharged Gemini 3 Pro that is able to really structure the game code for specifically game making. That means that it breaks down the game code into separate tabs, and then this makes it easier for the model to manage different tasks when it's making tweaks. It's not reading the whole code base at once, trying to figure out where to make the changes, but rather it's actually it knows where the problem might be and is able to tweak it. I was actually also surprised by the assets that Gemini made. You should take a look at these because they are absolutely fire for something that I didn't actually expect. It deconstructed the pizza well, and I was able to add in all the things that I wanted. So then, after a couple more seconds of waiting, I had a full game prototype ready to play, and I was genuinely wowed by this layout. I started cooking immediately, but I had a fix-it error. And the good thing about Rosebud is it actually suggests where to improve it or how to improve it. You just have to click a button and it will get right back to coding. But I was a little frustrated because I was just so ready to play the game. Anyway, this only took a couple more seconds and you can see my prompt consumption. You can monitor it as this video progresses, but suddenly I had a fully playable game.
Once I clicked
And I was
start
so excited to
cooking,
get
it just took
started.
me to the game, and I had a guy ordering a pizza with 3 pieces of basil. And I went on to the build part where I got a blank pizza and I could click on the ingredients to appear. But it was quite bizarre that when I clicked the tomato sauce or the cheese, I just had this huge image of them on it, and the basil like went on like a normal ingredient. Then at the baking part, you can see that I was only baking a plain pizza instead of the actual ingredient. So that was something that I had to fix. And I tested this loop a couple more times just to see what other bugs I wanted to fix. It seemed like everything else was working fine. It was just the simple UI things that needed a little bit of refinement. And it was quite fun to play already. Maybe it's just my personal preference, but I was kind of ready to, dive in, open my pizza restaurant, and take it away from there. It seemed like the oven mechanics were also fine in terms of burning, but then I had prompted the model to fix the tomato sauce, and it next time I did it, it seemed to work. I mean, I was coloring it in with a red color that was clearly the tomato sauce, but it was off the center. And the same issue happened for the cheese. Now, this is not the first time this has happened to me. It is a simple, like, lack of coordination kind of problem. And I submitted a screenshot alongside my prompt, asked it to fix it, and luckily I had it fixed within a couple seconds. It seemed like the mushrooms, I could, like, place them on by hand now instead of just clicking and randomly placing them. So I was having some fun making a pizza design while I was waiting for the code to generate. The issue that I had also spotted was that once I had selected an ingredient like the basil, it kept following my cursor even when I went onto the baking part. So that was obviously another thing that I wanted to get fixed. Now, it only took a couple more prompts, but you can see that I got the tomato sauce base working very well, and I did the same with the cheese, and I got ultimately rid of the ingredients that were following my cursor as well. I mean, how satisfying is this game already? And we don't even try to add in up levels or fix all the bugs yet. While working on the fixing bugs part, I also wanted to work on the game to have a more progressive feel. So you can see that up in the left corner, I had a score counter, but I actually needed to feel a little bit something more. So I prompted it to actually add some money for the customers who can then pay me based off of their satisfaction. And I also added this cute prompt or progression bar above the pizza so that when I'm spreading the tomato sauce, it tells me when I'm 100% ready spreading it, and then I can actually, move on to the next ingredient. I also asked for the customer orders to have a number of the toppings that they want rather than just an image, because I would get like one image of a pepperoni and one image of a mushroom, and that wasn't like doing it for me. Who orders that? So I asked for a number next to each ingredient. You can also see that I got rid of a couple of ingredients here. That's on purpose. I promise they're still there. They're just in the shop, and you actually have to complete a couple orders before you can buy more ingredients and actually satisfy the customers with them. You can also see that I fixed the prompt problem or the bug problem where the pizza was baking without actually any toppings on it. That was super easy. I literally just told the model what's happening, and what it did was it actually started tracking the coordinates of the ingredients on the pizza and then move them alongside the actual like batter image onto the next screen where you're baking it. So that worked really well. I really, really love this part, and I'm so, so proud of it. The fun part about making this game is it's actually, you get to play it while you're making it, and it's a kind of a good excuse to keep playtesting it because that's the only way you find bugs in your game. So for example, I had unlocked the bell pepper in the shop, yay, but it didn't actually show up in my ingredients list. And after I completed this order, I got a next customer who was requesting pizza with bell peppers, and I could not serve them. So that was when I realized we needed to make sure the model's actually tracking what I'm buying from the shop. These things happen. Sometimes, like, it felt like it was very easy for it to actually acknowledge the purchase, but I wasn't sure if it would like show up, and luckily that hunch was fixed very quickly once I played a little more, enjoyed this gameplay, and gathered a couple more dollars for the bell peppers. I was able to get them on my pizzas right away. The good thing was that I also got to mess around a little bit and not necessarily, spread the sauce evenly. Obviously, if I was playing this game, I would probably put in a lot more effort, but this was only for testing reasons. I was really happy with my bell peppers on the pizza. I was able to grab them and, put them on as I wanted. And then the game was basically done for now. I had also added sound effects and music in the background, which was also super easy to prompt. The model was just able to pull that out of thin air and add in like ambient things, but I just couldn't record that. Anyway, at this point, I was just renaming my pizza game. I wanted to add a feature image and a description as well, so when I publish it, this shows on the page. But since I didn't have a thumbnail, I literally just looked up Pizza Master because that was the name suggested by the model. Little did I know that that was a pizza game already. So when you see the results for the Google image search, you actually see a couple of things here. Please don't sue me for it. I just wanted a nice pizza game, and I just took this random photo of two guys and a pizza, and I uploaded it as my thumbnail on the game. So going back, I was able to do that. I already had like a super chill description. And then the next thing, or the last thing, was actually to share the game and get a link that I can send to my friends or, for myself to even just play it without the editor view. You can open the project directly, and there you have it. Enjoy this last bit of gameplay, and thank you so much for watching.
If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below with what game we should make next, and try out Rosebud and make your own game.